Hi everyone and welcome to Caridina DM. Today's video is about how to feed shrimp properly. So there's 5 key points that I want to talk today, and here we go. Alright, so before we dive into the video, please subscribe, like, comments, and don't forget the notification bell. It's gonna notify you every time we post a new video, and it will help the channel to grow and keep growing and keep posting videos. So please subscribe. And there he is. Let's jump into the video. First point is feed less. You're better feeding less than feeding too much. So everything you feed to your shrimp, just make sure that they're eating it and there's not any food left over to rot and make ammonia. So for the leftover foods, for me, when I feed my shrimps and my fish, I kind of got a rule of like 10 minutes or so. If they can eat everything in that 10 minutes, that's good enough. And I know that they're well fed and there's no leftover food in the aquarium. So that's pretty much it, except maybe for algae wafers. Sometimes I'll put algae wafers in the tank and I'll just take off everything left over the next day, so that food can't rot and produce ammonia in the tank. That's pretty much the only food that I leave like overnight, and I don't have any problem right now. Everything is breeding and seems to be thriving. So that's pretty much it. Second point. The second point is a balanced diet. Shrimps are like pretty much every living thing, so they need different nutrients and different vitamins, minerals. So you can feed them proteins, all kind of sort of food. Just not feed them just always the same thing always. You're better off mixing food so that your shrimp has a well-balanced diet. So you food variation, food brands, algae wafers, pellets, bloodworms, flakes, and I made a list because just so I don't forget anything. So yeah, you can like mix them. You don't have to put all of them at the same time. Just mix them throughout the week, and that's it. So it's going to be better for your shrimp. There's probably better food than others, but in my opinion, it doesn't really matter, because the best you can do is variate that kind of food or brand or anything. So that food being the greatest food ever doesn't really matter when you like keep switching foods or brands. So that best food becomes pretty much irrelevant at that point, in my opinion. Also, you have to watch what's going on in your tanks. Watch your fish or shrimp eating, who's not eating. That's really important. That way you can like notice like right away if there's something wrong in your tank, and it might be life-saving for your fish. So you always have to keep a good eye on your tanks and keep watching what's happening, so you can resolve the problem if there's a problem. So third thing is consistency. Shrimps like consistency, water consistency, perimeters. So they need like consistent food too. So you can feed them like every day, every 2 days, every other days. You have to go with what they eat and what they can eat at the same time. So for me, right now I'm feeding like every 2 days. If I feel like there's a tank with more shrimps and they need more, I'll feed them more. There's shrimps can go like kind of a long period of time without eating too much, so there's no really problem there. All right, like I said before, the number of time you're feeding your fish doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3 times a day, that's not important. The important thing is they have to eat all the food that you put in the tank. Just make sure there's no leftovers, so it doesn't produce like ammonia spike and kill your fish or your shrimps. So just be careful when you're feeding. Fourth thing, water changes. You're better off making water changes like every week or every other week, just so it keeps all the minerals and gets out like any detritus or anything that there's in the water. So clean water with good parameters and consistent parameters, it's best. So your shrimp are going to thrive with like consistent water parameter, consistent feeding. All right, so for water changes, this is going to be in another video that we'll do about that, so we can go over all the parameters and what matters and what not. So we'll see that in another video. So the fifth thing is the most important one, and it's you should get your shrimp something in the tank that they can graze on. Shrimps are consistently like eating algae and biofilm on things in the water. So the more surfaces you have in the tank, the more biofilm you're going to create, and the shrimps are going to be able to graze on that in between the feeding. So if you want something for your shrimp to graze on, there's all kind of sort of woods, like Malaysian woods, driftwoods, all kind of driftwoods. So you can add that into your aquarium. It's biofilm is going to grow on that, and the shrimps are going to try graze on that. And you can add mosses, all kind of mosses could work. The more surfaces you have, the better. Plants, everything that biofilm can grow on and algae can grow on, it will help the shrimp. Alright guys, so that's it for today. So just remember those 5 things: feed less, balanced diet, consistency, water changes, and something to graze on. Those are the most important things to keep shrimp in a good environment, and so they can be breeding and thrive in your aquariums.